Besiktas Sompo Japan. Well, many a battle has been won for each of these teams to get to this point of the season, to get to the playoffs, but now it's an entirely new campaign, and you can see already that Le Mans winning, or excuse me, drawing at home 74 in that first leg, so that Segafredo Virtus Bologna, so the winner of this tie will go on to meet the winner of that one. Of course, Virtus will be favored. But Le Mans were good value for their money last night, and maybe they'll get a big result in Italy next week. But the question is, who is going to face the winner of that tie? Will it be Nanterre 92, or will it be Besiktas, a team that had a really difficult start to the campaign, but then turned it on, and quite possibly a dark horse to win this thing? Besiktas and Nanterre with the upper right, and you can see the quadrant there. With Le Mans and Bologna, then they would to win that, the winner of this tie, and then the quarterfinal tie will get to the final four. We've had some very interesting results already in the Basketball Champions League in the round of 16. We had 3 games that were played yesterday. Nanterre Venezia crashing to a 23-point defeat at Nizhny in Russia. Ike winning at PAOK by 9, and then that Le Mans score, 74 piece. PC Besiktas, Phil Pressey, Erkin Veseloglu, Samet Gaig, Joe Alexander, Dusan Jantekin, Borak Yıldızlı, Kyle Gibson, John Mutaf, Kina Sapahi, Ivan Bua, and Jason Rich, and the coach Duško Ivanović. That roster of Nanterre 92, Demetrius Treadwell, Adas Miscavicius, Lau Konate, Julian Gamble, Hugo Invernizzi, Raker Paulson, Armand Mensa, Corentin Carne, Jean-Marc Tanza, and Jeremy Senglin, who's one of the main offensive weapons for Coach Pascal Donadieu.
Welcome to Maurice Torres Arena. 8 finals, Basketball Champions League.
Well, the bottom line is there shouldn't be any easy games at all at this stage of the competition, and really, with the exception of Opava, who really struggled this year, even Petro Olympia, they struggled for results, but they were sure in some close games in the Basketball Champions League, and there's just no such thing as an easy game, especially in the playoffs. We've already seen Prometheus win at home tonight against the Iberostar Tenerife. Neptunus were at home against Hapoel Jerusalem, and Hapoel Jerusalem won that one by 12. So now it's Besiktas taking on Nanterre 92 in France tonight. You look back at Nanterre and the results they needed to get here. They won that last game of the regular season at Unat Halon 74-62. And despite losing at home to Nanterre Venezia in overtime the week before that, they had won at Fribourg Olympic and at PAOK, at home to PAOK, and then at home to Telecom Basket Spawn in the previous 3 games. So they've had a good second half of the regular season in the Basketball Champions League. And for Besiktas, as I alluded to, they had a really tough start to the competition. But they finished as one of the best teams in the competition. They finished up with, dating back to December 18th, they won by 7 at home over Neptunus. Then they won at Strasbourg in the first game of the new year. They won at home over Prometheus. Pascal Donaldson will remember that Besiktas went to Italy and won at Virtus Bologna 71-70. And they won at home over Filou Ostend, and then they won at Petro Olympia. So, you know, that set them up really nicely. 6-game winning streak heading into the playoffs. There's Demetrius Treadwell. versus Gavicius. Laua Konate. Julian Gamble, who was one of the game day MVPs of the regular season. Hugo Invernizzi. And Icelandic international Paulsen. So a big moment for Nanterre this season. No Dominic Waters, unfortunately. He's gotten hurt at the absolute worst time of the season for them and is probably facing a couple weeks on the sidelines. And that is a huge absence for Nanterre in this series, or in this tie, especially when you think about the likes of Pressy and Sipahi, two terrific guards on the defensive side of the ball. So Srdan Dozaj from Croatia, Martin Vulic from Croatia, and Jintin Cici from Albania on the left there. And we're just a few minutes away here from the start of this game, 2.5 minutes away. So Nanterre will get a look at also the Besiktas starting lineup, and then Nanterre. Joe Alexander missed a lot of games after getting hurt this season. Not sure he's been a good fit for this Besiktas team, but he is in that starting five tonight with Bua, Veseloglu, Jason Rich, and Phil Pressy. Clearly, Duško Ivanovic believes Alexander's going to give him something tonight. He's got him out there in that starting five. Ivanovic, one of the best coaches in Europe. That is without a doubt. That's not even up for debate. I'm not even going to talk about it with you. He is. He's proved it over the years, and the job that he's done with Besiktas has really been one of his best performances, I think, in Europe at the helm of a club. And for Nanterre tonight, it's going to be Singlin, Konate, Paulsen, Invernizzi, and Treadwell. That'll be the starting five.
Je te parle dedans.
Ce soir, match retour à Istanbul. Le score cumulé des deux rencontres désignera celui qui sera qualifié pour les quarts de finale de la Basketball Champions League.
So just minutes away here from the start of this game as the crowd still files into the arena here at Nanterre. Great story about how this club kind of came through the ranks. I mean, they were nowhere near even the top flight of French basketball. But won promotion and got into the Pro A and ended up winning the title, upsetting Strasbourg. That was several years ago. And since that point, they've been a mainstay. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to the Basketball Champions League. This is the round of 16. It's the opening tie between Besiktas in the dark uniforms and in the white, Nanterre. Besiktas winning the opening tip and attacking the basket to the left. Joe Alexander misses with the first three-pointer of the game. Bua had a chance for a putback, but Nanterre finally get the ball back. Nanterre without Waters, point guard Dominic Waters through injury, so other people have to step up, and one of them might be that man right there, Invernizzi, who misses with his first attempt. Now Pressey, who just really blossomed as the season went on into a big-time player for this Besiktas team. Konate hustles down the other end and scores! And you think, certainly looks like the body language looks good for this Nanterre team. With Konate, the France international, played in the European qualifiers for France and helped them qualify for the World Cup, FIBA Basketball World Cup that'll be played this year in China this summer. Now Bua gets it in the paint, goes up, and nice footwork from Ivan Bua, the tall Croatian center. Paulson goes behind his back. What a move. Oh, he just didn't finish. He would have been on the highlight reel, and all of a sudden it triggers a break that's finished by Joe Alexander. And foul called on Pressey, Besiktas. So they went 9-5 and finished second in Group D. A game behind Segafredo Virtus Bologna. Nanterre finished third in Group B, 2 games behind Umana Venezia in second place. Besiktas Tenerife, who lost their game tonight by 12 at Prometheus, won that Group B with a 12-2 record. Now Bua showing some nice agility, but doesn't finish. A couple of misses for him. Singlen hands it off to Invernizzi, who banks it in. And Nanterre knotted at 4. Jason Rich, arguably, surely he would get votes for the MVP of the year in the league. Now Bua again, still can't get it to fall. Konate. Paulson, and threw it away. Here's Ridge. Goes up and tries to dunk it, but was blocked by Konate. Look at him. He pounds his heart. Nanterre mean business tonight. Singling for 3! What a big turnaround, a big swing. One of the best players in the whole competition got rejected going to the rim and Ridge by Konate. And then the three-pointer by Singlen. Now Jason Ridge answers and shows that quality in his game. Another three-pointer for Singlen. Great start for the man that has to produce tonight. Make no mistake about it, Nanterre need his production from the perimeter. Veseloglu spins, gets in the paint, gets it over to Pressey, wide open. Nanterre. Bring it forward. Konate again. He's got a little extra bounce in his step tonight. He puts up a three, is short. Pressy avoids Treadwell. And instead of forcing it, takes it back out. Now he kind of lost the ball into the paint to Bua. And I think Ivanovic wasn't happy because he wanted the bounce pass. Look at that. What a rejection. And then it was Singlin who immediately struck with the three-pointer. And Veseloglu, leans into it and hits a three. One-point game. This game is alive and kicking already. Invernizzi, good! He strikes from downtown, and that leads to substitution. Kyle Gibson, one of the most valuable, surely one of the top players, and it's worrying that look over there at Rich, who's taking a shot right there on his arm. You can see he's feeling it. He's a real warrior, but they need him to be okay to get through this tie without question. Veseloglu, almost again. So Gibson in the game, Yildisley in the game. Treadwell picks up the foul. Here it is again, Veseloglu already hit that 1-3, no doubt about it. Veseloglu fouled on the right arm and misses the first free throw. Second one is good. And now an offensive foul, Treadwell.
Applaudissements pour la sortie de Besiktas out, remplacé par Adas Lucidicis.
Man, that doesn't look good, does it, on Rich? Yildisley passes it back to Veseloglu. Yildisley turns, goes up, left hand, misses. Boa just snatches that rebound and puts it up and in. Now Konate back in front of the rim, stays out, and Besiktas can reclaim the lead. A hot start to a hot tie. Adas Iskavish is guarding Kyle Gibson. Now Sapahi going up against Senglin. And Srdan Dozaj, the Croatian referee, calls a foul. One of the two Croatian referees, in fact. First foul, Singlen. Kyle Gibson to Sipahi again. Now Gibson. Julian Gamble in the game now. Going to work on Bua, and he was fouled before the shot. It's an interesting strategy bringing him off the bench, because you're talking really arguably about one of the premier centers in the Basketball Champions League. But obviously Donadieu knows his team, and Ivan Bua called for that foul. I know Gamble was really looking forward to this tie even before the draw. He was so excited to be going to the playoffs. Really super friendly center, but on the court, he's a terror. And Yildiz rebounds it. Quick pass to Gibson. I like Yildiz. He's really come into his own this year. And nice drive and finish by Gibson. So Besiktas take the lead. What a luxury it is to have Kyle Gibson coming off the bench, especially with Jason Rich feeling the effects of that early knock on his right arm. Hopefully it's not serious.
C'est pas possible. Hey, Julian, s'il drive, contact, faute, contact. Okay? No.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hope so. Shit.
Hey, en attaque, soyez sérieux sur les entrées. Vous mettez 15 secondes avant de jouer. Ok? On a dit qu'on était plus agressif sur les entrées. Ok? C'est n'importe quoi de jouer tout up comme ça. Ok? Hey, la prochaine, on joue pour Adas. On fait flash, pique, repique. Les gars, si vous ne mettez pas d'agressivité en défense, c'est pas la peine. D'accord, c'est même pas la peine. Ok? Allez, go, go.
Let's go.
See the rebounding numbers. So back to live action out of the timeout. Singlen. This Basketball Champions League is the third season of this competition. Besiktas has been there for each and every one of them. They've never gotten past this round of 16 stage. Singlen misses. And the drive and the basket. And Sipahi goes to the line for a potential three-point play. Well, he's become Mr. Post-up point guard here in this first quarter. It's really interesting, Besiktas, when you consider that under Ufuk Sorica, they were really one of the best teams in the Basketball Champions League during the regular season. Sipahi makes the free throw. It just never worked for them, though, come the playoffs. But this year, they started slowly and then really turned it on. And it's a different look, a different feel about Besiktas. Paulsen hits the three-pointer. It's what he's known for. They shoot the three ball in Reykjavik, that's for sure. Big member of that Iceland national team, Paulsen. Now Nanterre coming out on Yildiz. Yildiz for three. And Konate with the rebound. Yaskavish has passed to Gamble. Back outside it goes to Karn, now to Paulson. Gildesley, let's see if he's got this in his game tonight. He misses with his first attempt from deep. Nanterre made the most three-pointers in the regular season of any team in the Basketball Champions League. They really like to put it up from deep. And ball goes out of bounds back over to Besiktas. They had 159 three-pointers during the regular season. Boer goes out of the game. Quarantine Karn, big minutes here for him with Waters out of action. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Sipahi's played well. Now the switch, Gamble comes out on him. Sipahi gets in the paint. And Karn has committed an unsportsmanlike foul right at the end of the quarter. Oh, that's a tough call, I think. He got a lot of ball at the beginning. And the problem is, I guess he left his hand in there. So 2 shots and possession. It's been really interesting watching Sipahi grow up since the days when he played at the Under-18 All-Star game, you might remember, in Slovenia at the FIBA Eurobasket in 2013. He's had his highs and his lows, but there's no doubt about it, he is on an upward trajectory. And he's come out tonight and had a good start, although he only made 1 of 2 at the line there. So Pressey back in the game with 3.6 seconds to go. Gayak also in the game. Pressey. And runs into Gamble, turns it over. Karn puts it up. Well, it was a potentially awful trip down the floor for Nanterre that time, but Besiktas only making the 1 free throw, and now complicating matters. Pressey appears to have gotten hurt with his collision with Gamble. He was holding his hip, but it didn't look like his hip got hit, but he's limping over to the bench. Nevertheless, Besiktas lead at 18-16 at the end of 1. Nanterre 4 of 9 from deep. Besiktas just 1 of 6, but Besiktas are 6 of 12 inside the arc, and they've also made 3 of 5 at the line. Well, Inverness had a good start to this game. He's got 5 points. That was 2 of them. He also had the 3-pointer. Singlin came out hot with 6 points. He's 2 of 3 from 3-point range. Paulson also has a 3. This is the worrying part here. Jason Rich, great play by Konate with the block. But Rich injured his right arm, left the game, and hasn't come back yet. So it's wait and see time for him. If he's not able to go, it means very, very important minutes for this man right here, Kyle Gibson. Of course, he plays important minutes anyway, but he'll have to play even more. There's the Besiktas faithful. They've followed You know, they're starting to capture the imagination, but the worrying aspect is Rich is on the bench looking on, you can see. And you know, how far can Besiktas go without their talisman? Konate. And a hold has been called on Samet Gayek. Samet Gayek, number 9, the backup center. Yeah, he's. I think it's safe to say he was blanketing Gamble. Quarantine Khan going to inbound the ball. He gets it over to Yaskavicius. Yildisley with another board. Now Gayek to Gibson. Besiktas spreading the court. Oh, he gets it to Gayek inside, and great play by Gamble to knock it off the rim. Looked like that was about to go in. Konate probing and then loses it out of bounds. Samet Gayek moving his feet on defense. Look at this. And also the help defense there forced the ball to go off of Konate. Veseloglu back, gets it over to Gibson. Now Gibson's pass batted, I think it was Gamble. Here he is. Gamble has Yildisley on his back. Gets it over to Paulson, who drives in, passes it back to Karn. Gamble kept it alive, put back, and ties it up at 18. Good minutes from the big man. The former star with the Miami Hurricanes, also played with Bonn, Telecom Baskets Bonn. Team was in the Basketball Champions League this season. Good defense again, almost a turnover. Now the pass to Yildisley. And they passed it around too many times that time, Besiktas. Didn't come close to getting the shot off. So Panza comes into the game and Gamble sits down, so you would think this might be something that Gayek could take advantage of. Jean-Marc Panza. A lot of potential, but perhaps lacking experience. Scavicius gets it to Panza. Scavicius, oh, fortuitous roll to his teammate, Karn. Oh, beautiful play by Karn, and Panza flushed it, making me eat my words. Look at this. He rolled to the basket beautifully. Great play by Quarantine Karn. Nanterre back in front. Sipahi. In it goes, and Yildisley this time goes up and dunks it with one hand. Scavicius over to Senglin. Senglin back to his left. Karn. Panza now with 5 on the shot clock. He hands it off to Yaskavicius. And great hustle from Paulson, but the ball goes off of him and out of bounds. He was successful in getting it off of Yildisley, but then the ball also went off of him. Yildisley playing important minutes. Looks like some type of smoke bomb has been let off in that part of the arena. Jan Mutaf in the game. We're back in the game now as well, so keep your eye on Bua and Panza. Intriguing matchup, the youngster against the veteran. Also Gibson and Karn. Here's Bua. Thinking he can take Panza, and just didn't make the shot. Had a good look. Singlen with the bounce pass. Now Panza turns, doesn't want to force it. Corentin Karn drives in. What a play! He's playing terrific, folks. He's really tough going to the basket, isn't he? Gibson for three. That's an air ball. And the more this game's on and the more that we see Jason Rich sitting at the end of that bench, the more we think he might not be coming back with that right arm injury. One thing that Besiktas do not want is Singlen to shoot any more threes. And the rebound by Bua. And some of the haze now from that smoke has drifted down to the hardwood. You can see it hovering above. And good hands from Paulsen. Almost forcing the turnover. Sipahi, quick pass. Yodesley benefits. Singlen. Oh, telegraph pass by Singlen and got away with it, although there's only 4.8 seconds remaining. Jan Mutaf saw the pass coming from a mile away. And again, it seems like that's the area where the smoke has come from. Sipahi goes out. Somebody needs to open a window and get that stuff out of there. Scavicius puts it up. Panza went up for the follow. Oh, they had a really good look there. Pressy back, no signs of a hit problem. Gibson from deep. Paulsen. Oh. Panza got Paulsen. Paulsen goes down. Singlen drives in, scores with a reverse layup. And now they're going to go check on Ricker Paulsen. Oh, look at him. He's bloodied. He is bloodied, and it was with a little collision with Panza. He's got to come out of the game. It's like Rocky V. Look at this. Oh. Boy, Paulsen really came off worse there. And that is about as ugly as it gets in terms of a collision with your teammate. Rich back in the game, so that's good news. And puts up the jumper, though. Singlen. I suppose Raker Paulsen will come back with a bandage around his head. Not sure if it's on his cheekbone, but this has been a physical game. And we've already seen the likes of Rich go out with an injury, but thankfully he's back. Now Paulson's out with the bloodied face. Panza showing his coach Donadieu has a lot of faith in him, keeping him in there. Also Treadwell helping him in that low post. And another foul. Bua picks up the personal. It's number 2 on him. Scavishes to the corner, over to Treadwell. Treadwell goes up, crazy shot. Bua collects it. Pressey, the son of former NBA great Paul Pressey, calling the play. Now Rich gets it to Bua. And a kick on Treadwell.
14 seconds on shot clock. Pied, 14 secondes sur le chronomètre de tir.
Timeout on the floor called by Nanterre here late in the first half. What a contest.
Sur les pick and roll, Adas, les pick and roll dans l'axe, jouez-les plus large. Et regardez ce qui se passe derrière. On ne peut pas finir dans des situations comme ça. C'est pas possible. Okay. Hey, la prochaine, on joue en mineur. Okay.
Great atmosphere here at Nanterre tonight. The fans rocking and rolling and really getting behind their team tonight. They know the importance of trying to get a first leg advantage against a very good Besiktas team who will have the benefit of their home crowd in the next one. Oh, tough move from Ivan Bua. Ties it at 24. Singland pass to Treadwell and banks it up and in. This atmosphere reminds me of the old Boston Garden. Very, very smoky. I don't think there's many cigars being lit up right now. And Bua tries to get it to Alexander, who is cutting to the basket. Singland faces some full court pressure, breaks it. Now he gets into the paint. The Lithuanian international Jaskavicius gets his first one to go from deep. Jason Rich hands it off to Pressey. And a kick on Panza. Checking his season high in minutes. Alexander, Gayek, and as the shot clock winding down, it turns it over. And a foul on Gayek. And the fans reacting because it looked like he kind of clotheslined him a little bit, but Jaskevicius just kind of ran into him as well. So Besiktas decide they want to call timeout and discuss things. Panza's season high in minutes was 22 early on the second game against Tenerife. He had also played 19 against Opava and 21 against Bonn.
You understand? Hey, move quickly, ball. Move quickly, penetrate. Well, that's Raoul. Enough green for Jean-Marc. Let's go pick and roll. Hey, maybe you fake the pick and roll. Okay, outside. Go.
There's a young man cheering on Besiktas, I believe. There's a fair few Turkish fans in the arena tonight. But their team right now trailing by 5 points. And Jaskevicius inbounds it. 1.5 minutes remaining. Singlen back to Konate. Jaskevicius, another one. But that's coming right out of a Besiktas timeout. It's almost like they did him a favor, letting him draw up a play. Have to give the nod to Donadieu on that one. Bounce pass Rich to Gayek. Yodisli. And offensive rebounds. And it goes back over to Besiktas, to Nanterre rather. It was Gayek that was trying to keep it alive. Bounce pass to Treadwell, who gets it to Panza. And Panza a little bit out of control going towards the rim. Now Pressey. Oh, Pressey just missed the layup. Both teams spurning some opportunities. Singlen hands it off, and Treadwell misses the reverse, gets it back. Thought he was going to score there. That was the one he needed to make. I think Gayek reached in and got the block. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Plenty of time for Nanterre. I've not heard Nanterre this loud this season. And now Jaskevicius fouled by Veseloglu. Hey, Besiktas looking a little bit out of sorts tonight. And I think Jaskevicius did a good job of getting that foul called. He kind of stuck his, looked like his right leg just kind of came out and made contact. Well, is this more of the same after an impressive regular season? Besiktas are going to come up short in the round of 16. Obviously, this is only the first leg, but right now, I don't think Nanterre could have asked for a better start to their round of 16 tie, especially without Dominic Waters. Point guard Dominic Waters has become Coach Dominic Waters. And now Mensah is getting ready to check in. So Nanterre won another timeout.
Pas d'anti-sportive, pas de faute complètement stupide. Les faites pas trop tôt. Les fautes, ne les faites pas trop tôt. Ok, hein? Faites pas les 3 fautes au bout de 10 secondes.
6 3-pointers for Nanterre, just 1 for Besiktas. That's the story.
On est prêt là-dessus.
Well, that's a big part of the story.
Jean-Marc, sois bien à hauteur, sois bien prêt. D'accord?
Assists and turnovers. You know, it's really interesting the fact that Nanterre are winning right now without Dominic Waters, who averaged 13.8 points and 7.4 assists in his last 5 games for Nanterre in the Basketball Champions League. So, you know, they had to get other people to step up, and the other people had stepped up. Pemsa's an intriguing player, isn't he? He's got good size, good quickness. Just needs some work. Now Jason Rich to Gayek, and leads to an opportunity. Great follow by Gayek! Wow! Looked like Besiktas were going to come up empty there as Alexander went up. Missed the shot, but Gayek, who had made the pass, follows it up and scores, and Mensah picks up the foul after coming into the game. So he goes back out, as does Karn, and both Jaskavicius and Singlen come back in, and meanwhile, wow, he's trying to get that blood to stop coming out to keep the swelling down. 3.3 seconds left. If they can get it to Singlen, that's probably the best, and now he can dribble it up. He launches it from midcourt, and that's going to be short. So at the end of a very frantic 20 minutes, Nanterre 92 lead it 34-27 over Besiktas Sompo Japan. Well, Nanterre 7 of 14 inside the arc, but 6 of 16 from three-point range. As you see, Paulson leaving the court, just 1 of 9 from deep for Besiktas. But they're still only trailing by 7 points. 17 rebounds to 16 in favor of Besiktas, so not much difference there. And also the turnover game is just 4 apiece. Jaskavicius has the 10 points to lead all scorers. Konate with 5 rebounds and 4 assists, and also that sensational block in transition. And Jaskavicius also with a steal. And you can see not for Besiktas, the players just spreading out the points. So again, we're at halftime. It's 34-27. Nanterre on top of Besiktas. Will be right back before the start of the second half. Enjoy the highlights.
Les fous du swing, que je veux applaudir. Passionnés de danse rétro, très en vogue en ce moment. les fous du swing enseignent depuis 1996, le Charleston, l'Idiot, le rock des danses en ligne, basé à l'espace Chevreuil et à la salle des Gavroches à Nanterre. Les cours sont accessibles à tous, que vous soyez et initiés. Visitez leur site internet www.lesfousduswing.fr. On les applaudit très fort. Et on applaudit nos couleurs. Nanterre qui est sur le terrain. Ils ont besoin de vos encouragements. Applaudissements sportifs pour nos adversaires qui rentrent sur le terrain. Besiktas Sompo Japan. La boutique officielle de Nanterre 92 vous ouvre ses portes dans chaque d'entrée pour retrouver la toute nouvelle gamme de produits Nike, Grande Nanterre 92, en épargne de toute conférence. Nike, équipementier de Nanterre 92, rendez-vous en boutique. Nanterre 92 est partenaire sportif de cœur de l'association Rêve qui réalise un événement fou d'enfants gravement malades, leur permettant de s'évader du quotidien. Rejoignez l'aventure sur www.rêvepluriel.fr. Respect, courage, solidarité avec le conseil départemental de Haute-Seine, partenaire de Nanterre 92, tous derrière les verts et blancs. Vous souhaitez rejoindre l'équipe du club, rendez-vous sur le site internet de Nanterre 92 à l'onglet club du contact. Suivez votre équipe sur le nouveau site officiel www.nanterre92.com. Vous pouvez pas de suivre également les pages Facebook et Twitter, ainsi que sur le compte Instagram, Actu, Photostat, Info Club, concours vidéo, etc. Tout y est. N'oubliez pas, mesdames et messieurs, ce samedi 9 mars, coup d'envoi à 18h30, le derby alto-sécanais, Nanterre 92 face au Métropolitans de Levallois. Il reste encore quelques... ou encore du gospel.
Well, Raker Paulson coming out and doing some jump shooting here after his unfortunate head collision with teammate Panza, which left him bloodied and having to go to the changing room early in the second quarter. And of course, he's a vital member of this Nanterre team, as is Dominic Waters. But, you know, if anything, what this game has shown so far is that even if a team like Nanterre is without Waters there in your picture and without Raker Paulson for an extended period of time, if everybody is on the same page, playing as a team and executing the strategy and especially playing well on defense, anything is possible. I mean, they are taking on arguably the hottest team in the Basketball Champions League, albeit one that hasn't had the best of Jason Rich tonight after he picked up an injury. And they've done very well, Nanterre.
Si tu as 2 fautes, tu défends comme si tu avais 0 faute. Tu dois faire une faute, tu fais une faute, c'est pas grave. D'accord? La première situation, on joue one flash. Là, c'est eux qui ont la balle, hein. Mais nous, après, on joue one flash. Donc, on se rappelle, là où en zipper, on met Adas ici, ok? Pique avec Trey. One flash, pick the picker. Ok, Adas? Attention s'il trappe. Attention s'il trappe sur le premier pick and roll. Ok. Hey. Oh, le second offense, shoulder. Le second offense, shoulder. End up with Adas.
Deuxième match à l'extérieur mardi prochain. Le total des scores cumulés donnera le vainqueur de cette confrontation. Plus 7 pour l'instant pour les couleurs. Il faudra accentuer l'avantage. Avoir le maximum de points possible.
Well, folks, if you are looking for information or you want to read some good stuff about the Basketball Champions League and its players and its coaches and everything around it, go to go to championsleague.basketball and you can see all you want to there, but also pay attention to the social media, for example, at BasketballCL on Twitter and Instagram. And also you might want to read things on the website like the power rankings, which are always good. Always find that one entertaining when they've got a live blog going right now. If you want to keep up with all the goings on in the competition, with Bamford up 1 on Bamberg. Lukai Murthy have come from way back to trail by 8 points at Antwerp. Well, second half underway. And starting things off, Besiktas. What kind of adjustments, if any, are they going to make here for the second half? Wonderful atmosphere, wonderful crowd here tonight at Nanterre. Hugo Invernizzi in the game. Played just under 6 minutes in the first half. Bua going to work on Treadwell and gets it to go. That's a mismatch size-wise, that's for sure. Go back to a 5-point Nanterre lead. Veseloglu fell down, but he gets back up and committed the foul on Yaskavicius, who was hoping that he would get free throws. But the call was that the foul was before the shot. Veseloglu has played for Turkey's national team. Yaskavicius for Lithuania, and there's Yaskavicius well short. So things looking a little bit better now for Besiktas. Kyle Gibson to Bua, who gets it to Alexander, who tries to come in hard from the corner and is fouled by Treadwell. Oh, good explosive move there. Aggressive move by Alexander. Former first-round draft pick in the NBA, Alexander. And Treadwell picks up foul number 3 and has to go take a seat next to Waters and Paulson. It looked like it might have been a decent block. So Alexander, that free throw, both free throws, in fact, make it a 3-point game. Singlen brings it up, hands it off to Invernizzi. Now Yaskavicius. Back to Invernizzi, beautiful play by not to finish. And Alexander hands it off to Pressey. Oh, nice feed, and Veseloglu scores. And when you add in the 3 points that were scored at the end of the first half by Besiktas, they're on a nice little run here. They've cut it to within just 1. Now the alley-oop pass and the push called on Alexander. So they were up by 10 points, Nanterre. So it's a 9-0 run right now for Besiktas. Singling in the corner. Almost threw it away. Yaskavicius. Oh, beautiful control. Went around Ivan Bua and just made a layup. Gibson. Long three. Nails it. We've got a tie game. This is the first leg of the round of 16. Tie between these two teams, and coming from behind and stealing it was Pressy, and he hands it off to Veseloglu, and Besiktas continue their run. It's a 12-0 run, and now they have the lead. Invernizzi from the right. Oh, that was big. That was a run buster. Veseloglu. And the ball goes off of Bua and back to Nanterre. And another layup, this time by Konate. Well, the seas parted and he just went straight through the promised land. And Bua's attempt rims out. And then just nothing but white shirts in there, but the ball tapped out instead of rebounded. So another chance here for Besiktas. Oh, and it's dunked by Alexander. Well, he's turning over a new leaf tonight. Going hard to the rim. Second chance points. Pressy called for another foul. Paulson comes back in, so he's got, I don't know that he has a fracture. It could be. We were talking about that at halftime. And the way that that thing is taped up suggests that that might be the case. Well, the pass into Gamble, and he's fouled by Alexander. And they exchange a little bit of trash talk. I think Alexander had the foul called on him, and then he said that was all ball. And Gamble said something else. Oh, tough luck at the line for Gamble. Konate out guarding Gibson. But Gibson gets inside to Bua, and Chichi calls a foul. The Albanian referee. Alexander to Veseloglu, back to Alexander to Pressey for three. I think they'd like to get Gibson the ball on the perimeter. Yuskavicius, Singleton will take this any day of the week, but he misses. And then Gamble not able to hold on to the ball. Hit him in the hands. Gamble had his hands up to put him off the shot. Now Gamble going at Alexander again. And that's going to bring Yildisley into the game. Alexander. Not thinking he had done too much wrong on that occasion. That's good team defense. So Gamble just missed a couple at the line. Now he's missed a third in a row. Wow. 4 missed free throws consecutively by Gamble. Well, Sipahi fouled before he passes it to Veseloglu by Yuskavicius. Second foul on Yuskavicius. Yuskavicius comes away with the rebound. Well, both teams have gone a little bit cold here the last couple of minutes, but now the steal by Sipahi. And he goes in for the dunk. Well, that's always a possibility with Sipahi and Pressey out there. You can't be careless with the basketball. Yuskavicius then misses a layup. And Besiktas, despite playing without Jason Rich, now leading it. And Paulson fouls Yildisley, and a technical has been called on Yildisley for complaining about the no call. Well, didn't look like he said too much, but it could have been an accumulation of complaints. And the referee had had enough. He's like, I'm going to put an end to this. No more back talk. So it cost them a 1-point lead. And now Nanterre will have the ball with 3:37 to go in the third quarter. Konate back to Paulson. Can he shoot? Yes, he can. He can still shoot it, even with the injury. Well, if he makes a lot of this tonight, he might want to think about making that a permanent addition to his uniform. Kyle Gibson does a good job of getting the contact. So free throws for him. Foul on Konate. Well, Ukam Murthy trailed by as many as 17 points tonight. They just pulled to within 2 points of Antwerp. And that game being played in Belgium, and it's late in the fourth quarter. Gibson makes the first. Also a close one with Bamberg and Banvit. Banvit leading by 1 at Bamberg in the final minute. Second one is good.
Nanterre 82 sur 45-44. Nanterre vers le 2 leads 45.
So Besiktas closed the gap to 1. Quarantine Karn comes into the game, gets it over to Singlin. Konate from deep! Wow! Couple of threes here for Nanterre. I don't think Veseloglu could have done any more there. Now Konate pushes the ball away, and Singlin goes in, misses the layup. Singlin is a great finisher, but maybe on this occasion he should have passed it, especially as he was going up against Sipahi. Entry pass to Singlin. Singlin, bounce pass to Karn. Shot clock about to expire. It's Konate again! Back to back for Konate! It takes him up to 10 points for the night. We talked about how they made more three-pointers than any other club in the Basketball Champions League during the regular season. Veseloglu, who hit one at the start of the game, misses that, and certainly that has not been a strength of their game tonight, three-point shooting. Paulson, another one, front and back of the rim, Gamble with the rebound. And Konate thought about it. Now Singlin, Konate's wide open, he's got to take it, but he doesn't make it. He had to take it, didn't he? Besiktas are just 2 of 13 from three-point range. Nanterre are 10 of 24. So what are you going to do tonight? I'm going to the basketball game, the round of 16 between Besiktas and Nanterre. I mean, where else would you want to be tonight in this part of the world? And Sipahi had the ball kicked. Trying to get it to Gayic. Campbell comes up top. Now Gibson. And a foul in the corner on Paulson on Yildisley. And as they are over the limit, that puts Yildisley on the line. Well, Yildisley misses his first attempt at the line tonight. Besiktas have been pretty good. They were 8 of 10 before that. So now they're 9 of 12. Final 40 seconds here of the third quarter. Nanterre, having seen a 10-point lead disappear, have gone back in front by 6. Singlin goes hard to the basket. What a terrific block by Yildisley. Boy, that was just a rejection. Look at this. Nanterre called timeout. Let's go down to the benches and hear the coaches.
Parfait, parfait. Coco va faire la remise en jeu. Ok. Là, on va mettre ici G. Ok. On va mettre ici Julian et on va mettre ici Laou. Ok. Hey, Hawk ici. D'accord. On va faire écran de G pour Hawk. Ok. Stop and shoot for you. Ok. Si c'est pas possible, Coco, s'il n'a pas pu recevoir, Julian, immediately scream for Jay.
So coming out of the timeout, it's Nanterre ball, 2.3 seconds on the shot clock. Wanted to get something. He gets it to Gamble. He puts up a little runner and it paid off. Nice soft release. And the lead now 8 for Nanterre. Sipahi drives, hands it off. Gayek didn't catch it. Now Gamble has it. They've got a little bit of time. Will they get it? He's probably going to just hold on to it. No, he does pass it. And nevertheless, they will take an 8-point lead to the fourth quarter. Nanterre 53, Besiktas 45. Well, it's the three-point shooting. I mean, that's what jumps off the stat sheet at you for Nanterre. 10 of 24, 8 more three-pointers. And Besiktas. (53-45), Nanterre on top of Besiktas here, heading to the fourth quarter of this first leg in the round of 16 of the Basketball Champions League. Besiktas need to pick it up defensively. And it looks like that's what they're trying to do with Sipahi. Also Veseloglu. Not quite as effective defensively as he usually is. Oh, beautiful play by Paulson and Nanterre. And really, more than anything tonight, what hurts Besiktas is Jason Rich getting the injury and not being able to help. You know, we don't know how bad the injury is, but it's obviously bad enough to keep him out of the lineup right now. Gibson goes right down the lane, but he gets swatted by Gamble. Well, he did the right thing here. But anytime you take on the other team's center like that, you're running the risk of getting rejected, and that's what happened. On balance, Gamble's had a pretty good game tonight. Hasn't scored much, but he's done some other things. Yildiz doesn't get anything, and Paulson seems to be able to play with his injury, which is good news for Nanterre and bad news for Besiktas. Gibson on Karn. Karn takes a very difficult shot and he banks it in. What a lift he's given him tonight. Terrific, terrific performance from a player who really hasn't registered that much in the Basketball Champions League. Averaged 2.9 points, 1.2 rebounds.
Make the foul. How is possibly make the easy basket? Box 5. Box 5. But after here is cut, and looking for
Karn played not at all in the last 3 games for Nanterre of the regular season. He did play 3 minutes against PAOK. But there are a lot of games where he didn't get any minutes at all. And he's playing a big game tonight, that's for sure. Karn 4 points, played 11.5 minutes, got 3 assists as well. Good hustle from both teams there. So Sipahi brings it across midcourt. Besiktas facing their biggest deficit of the night, 12 points. And Gamble reaches in and commits the foul. Holding on to Bua. Bua steps out, hands it off to Gayak. Bua could take the 3, but obviously he wants to take it down low if he can. And once again, fouled by Gamble. That's a lot of flesh pounding on each other. Gamble, who picks up the 3rd foul, clearly needs to sit down, and they think that by bringing in Panza, that's going to change things up a little bit here on Bua. If anything, he's got some fouls that he can waste, and now Karn bumps Bua. Now this becomes interesting because Besiktas have shot their free throws well tonight, and Nanterre have picked up 3 quick ones here in the space of about 10 seconds. So they could get into bonus territory here very early in the 4th quarter. Well, Bamberg ended up winning tonight by 2, and then Antwerp opened up an 8-point win on UCAM Murthy in the end. Now an offensive foul called on Besiktas. I think on Gibson. No, it must have said that he hooked him. Presley comes back in, so it could be that we would see some full court pressure at some point with this, especially with this Besiktas team that's on the court right now. And Sipahi looks like he might have gotten a finger in the eye. He did. It was from Panza. Boy, Panza's leaving everybody as the walking wounded tonight, his teammates and the adversaries. And the thing is, Panza didn't mean to do anything there, but just like he didn't mean to collide with Paulson and leave him with that interesting looking bandage on his face. Panza is guarding Bua. Sweet move by Bua, just backs his way up and puts it up and in. You know, this Besiktas team doesn't have to necessarily win tonight, but what they want to do is they certainly want to cut into that deficit substantially if they can. And then hopefully on their home floor, use that home court advantage to go on to victory in this round of 16 tie. But for Nanterre, they want to get as big a win tonight as possible. And they certainly don't want to blow a 10-point lead and lose. Senglin. Ball goes out of bounds. Bua thought it might be Besiktas ball, as did Ivanovic. Konate pulls up and follows up the shot. Now Bua with the rebound. And if they can get the ball to Bua, I think they'll do that. So he's going to pick and roll. Here he goes. And that time, Bua wasn't allowed to roll to the basket. Panza picks up the foul, so any more and Nanterre will be over the limit. So the free throw line, with all certainty, is going to come into play here early for Besiktas. Bua catches it and fouled by Panza. They have not been able to cope with Bua in the last couple of minutes here. Gamble picked up a couple of quick ones, so he had to go to the bench. Now Panza's picked up a couple. And worryingly for Nanterre is now they're over the limit. So Panza goes to the bench. And Gamble comes back in. The only good thing is, for Nanterre, is Bua's missed the free throw. Wow, he missed both of them. But Samet Gayek comes in for the rebound, a huge rebound. Sipahi for three! And that's why it was a huge rebound. Those second chance points. You simply cannot give those away. Karn gets it to Gamble. Viscavicius, I think he's already had his pocket picked once tonight by Sipahi, and now Pressey's going after him. Paulson catches it, gets it to Gamble. Oh, how in the world did Gamble get that shot off, and he still made it? They took it right down to the end of the shot clock. The Durham, North Carolina native, who played his college basketball at Miami for the Canes. And now he plays great defense and comes up with the steal. Singlet. Dancing around up top, looking for an opening. Gets it over to Karn. 5 on the shot clock. Karn puts it up from deep. Oh, Yaskavicius might have had a split second more to put up a better putback attempt. And Besiktas go in for the run and the dunk. Samet Gayek. And this Besiktas team looks like it's got the potential for a comeback here in the fourth quarter. Singlen. Nanterre can't worry about taking time off the clock right now. They need to get some good shots. And now Sipahi fouls Karn. Only the second here in the fourth quarter. Well, Paulson goes out. Konate back in. Karn out. And Invernizzi back in. Invernizzi's played well tonight. It's surprising that he hasn't gotten more minutes, in my opinion. Another of the France internationals played in the European qualifiers to help France qualify for the World Cup. Singlen, jump shot, good. Wow. All you can say is congratulations, what a tough shot. But that's why he's a professional. He can make those types of plays. Oh, nice handoff to Bua, but he gets rejected by Gamble. Gamble said, I've had enough of this. Now Gayek for 3, well short. Excellent hustle as well from Yaskavicius. It's effort plays like that that make all the difference. Singlen. The lead back to 9. Yaskavicius off the back of the rim and rebounded by Bua. Pressy gets in and gets 2 shots. Fouled by Invernizzi. No, fouled by Singlen. Is it Singlen or Gamble, in fact? Look at this extra effort. And then that set up the basket, so it was indeed on Gamble. 4 fouls on him. Do you gamble and keep him out there? Pressy can, with Pressy and Sipahi on the court at the same time, this Besiktas team can really turn things around quickly with their defense. You better watch them. It's an 8-point game. Now 7, 61-54. And also Gayek, who gets around big, well for a big man, and Gayek got a hand on that. Yildisley over to Gayek. Gibson for 3. Oh, good hustle by Sipahi to get the long rebound. The young Turkey international over to Yildisley, puts it up. And you can see, again, you have to say, you see where they really missed Jason Rich being able to score for them tonight. You don't have, other than Gibson on the court right now, an out-and-out scorer. Gibson. Gayek, he can hit the 3, but he doesn't. And again, Besiktas can only hope that Rich will be able to play in the second leg next week. Singlen runs into Gayek. Ivanovic appealing for a travel. Oh, Gayak took the punishment. Well, it has been a rough and tough physical game. And Ivanovic is saying, my man had his position and Senglin ran into him. And now my man gets the foul. He's barking at the Albanian referee, Chichi. Here's Gamble. Gamble! Well, in the end, it wasn't a gamble to leave him out there. He's made a couple of big plays on both ends of the floor. His numbers keep going up, 8 points now. Gibson misses, Senglin has it, and Konate pulls it back out with 2.5 minutes to go in the game, in the first leg. And stealing it from behind was Pressey, but he lost control of it, and Senglin gets it back. Now Konate wide open. Boy, Besiktas dodged a bullet. Gibson open for three, finally gets one to go. And back to a 6-point deficit. Remember, this is effectively the first half of an 80-minute game. So Nanterre called timeout.
Le joueur de Presley, c'est Adas et à Laou de monter la balle. Ok? C'est pas à lui de monter la balle. Rendez-vous disponible. On a dit que c'était le moins bon défenseur des trois. Ça fait 5 actions où il monte la balle. Adas et Laou monter la balle. Chez corner. Annoncer un système après. Hey. Là, hey, Laou. Ce qu'on va faire, tu montes la balle. Ok, on annonce tout up pour Adas. Ok, Chez il reste dans le dos.
Well, we're right near the end of the game here. Konate brings it up. 2 minutes to go, and it's a 6-point lead for Nanterre. Invernizzi for three. Gamble hustles in, gets the rebound, and throws it off of Bua before he falls out of bounds. You can see these players have really been through the wars tonight. Senglin, guarded by Pressey. He's got to be careful with Pressey hawking him. Now to Gamble. He's going to go at Bua this time. He turns and fumbles it out of bounds. You would think Nanterre would be happy if they won by 8 points at least. And right now it's 6. They might even be happy if they won by 6. But if Besiktas can get it, keep it at this or get it closer, they'll be very happy tonight. It's been a struggle. Pressey misses from deep. And that game, the game in Istanbul next week is going to be fantastic as well. You could just, the way this one's gone, both of these teams, certainly Nanterre came to play tonight. Sabahi picks up the foul. The Besiktas came to play, but they just have not been able to overcome the loss of Rich to the injury, whereas Paulson had to leave the game for a while, but has come back and made some timely contributions. And I haven't seen Nanterre this focused and concentrated and confident all season. I mean, they have been terrific tonight. And this man has had a lot to do with it, Konate. Quick pass to Gamble. Turns, hands it off to Konate. He puts it up. It's good. Another one from Lau Konate. Pressy flies in. Beautiful basketball by Pressy. Seven points, the lead for Nanterre. And more than happy now to take some time off the clock. Gamble, shot clock winding down. Konate again, passes up the three, puts up a little run. Oh, I think he was trying to give that to Gamble. Pressy, quickly to the other end, over to Gibson, and now Paulson has it. And Paulson, the Icelandic international, hands it off. And now Yildisley commits the foul, and he's lost his mind, Ivanovic says, because you've just put him on the free throw line. It's not what they wanted. You're not necessarily playing to win the game. You're playing to keep the score, the margin of victory, as small as possible. Well, it's probably experience more than anything, that foul by Yildisley. How terrific have they been? Look at Panza. Look at Invernizzi. Karn. Boy, what a story. You could talk all night about this Nanterre team, their approach tonight. Besiktas has been invaluable with his experience, his shooting, his playmaking, but really everybody. I've not got a bad word to say about any of them. So Besiktas call timeout. They want to get one last basket. Every point counts in a tie like this. 14 rebounds for Bua. But, you know, the leading scorer is Gibson, and that just tells you everything. Without Rich, they are missing probably a third of their offense.
Only one shot. We can 11 seconds. Doesn't matter. Okay? Wait to complete.
Nine-point lead, 11.1 seconds remaining. Besiktas. Will they go for a three? Will they try to get something going to the basket? Sipahi penetrates to Bua. Great defense. Terrific defense from Nanterre at the end. And I'm not sure if that heave would have counted, but I think it's probably a fair result overall the way this game was played. Boy, tip your hat to Nanterre. They were excellent tonight. And Besiktas, tough result for them. Tough result for Besiktas without Rich tonight. And we can only hope that Rich is going to be healthy by the time the second leg is played. So Nanterre clearly shifting to a higher gear here in the playoffs. They've won half the battle, but the toughest part of the battle is coming up. And that'll be in Istanbul next Wednesday. And don't you know that Paulson's not going to be feeling very well tomorrow? You feel bad for him, but at the end of the day, all he cares about is winning tonight. And that game will be on Tuesday next week, not Wednesday, at the Besiktas Katlar Arena. Well, 7 more threes fell for Nanterre tonight. Besiktas had more success inside the arc. Both teams with 31 rebounds. Nanterre with 3 more assists, each team with 6 steals. It was very even. It was just that three-point shooting for Nanterre that was superior. Konate, well, what an inspiration he was tonight. 13 points. Paulson, an inspiration. Had the 8 rebounds. Also Konate with the 6 assists. Gamble came out and made all sorts of plays on defense, especially 3 steals, 3 blocks. And Yaskavicius and Senglin, obviously, from the scoring standpoint, were terrific. Gibson, Buva, and Sipahi scored 10, 10, and 9, respectively. You know, the best thing you could really say for Besiktas tonight is that they lost by single digits, and the fact that it's only halfway. You know, they still got another 40 minutes to go next week. So they will go back to Turkey and try to regroup. And in the meantime, we're going to look at some highlights. And Sipahi with this steal and dunk. And it looked like the way Besiktas started the second half, it looked like they might just come away with a first leg win, but it wasn't to be, especially because of that man, Konate. Let me tell you what he did tonight. Konate was 13 points. He had 3 three-pointers, 3 of 7, 5 of 11 from the floor, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and a game-high plus 19 efficiency. And a colleague just mentioned to me, I wouldn't be surprised if Konate found his way into that France team at the World Cup this summer, because he can do a lot of things to help you win a basketball game. And I have to agree, I think he's definitely in the mix for Vincent Collet's final 12 players. Of course, a lot can happen between now and then, but his focus right now is all on this Nanterre team and this run in the Basketball Champions League. And you also have to say, looking back at the, where were these teams? You know, Besiktas had won 6 games in a row coming into this in the Basketball Champions League. So this was quite a win for Nanterre, but again, to qualify, it's not necessarily an asterisk, but when you lose a player like Jason Rich, as Besiktas did, that is awfully difficult to overcome. In Igor Cherkovic's power rankings on the Basketball Champions League website, championsleague.basketball, Nanterre came in at number 11. And Besiktas came in at number 4. So that just kind of shows you the magnitude of this victory tonight for Nanterre. And you also have to give it to the fans. They came out and really played a role tonight for Nanterre. So one last time, Nanterre winning the first leg of their round of 16 tie with Besiktas Sompo Japan, 68-59.
Qui ont décroché la place pour ce derby tant attendu.